Silly boy. Am I getting in trouble for that? Hi guys, Neil here, FaceliftInteriors. We've got a new camera today. Hopefully we won't have that problem that we've had with the focus. Must stop touching my face. Hopefully the picture's better, the focus, everything's a lot sharper. I'm going to try a lot harder to get better shots of what I'm doing. The pressure's on. In today's video we're going to be doing a window seat. Basically we've gone around a customer's house, they've got a bay window, they want a cushion made to size. They love the blush pink that we used. We've used it a few times, we've done a headboard in it. They saw that fabric, they absolutely loved it. So we're going to use that. We're going to do a deep button. So it's not going to be a cushion, it's going to be a cushion on wood. It's not going to be reversible because we're going to deep button it and it's just going to slot in nicely into their window. Been to the builder's warehouse and I've had the wood cut to size, but it needed a slight angle on it and they can't do that. They can only do square cuts. So I'm going to shave it down myself. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment and all that YouTube stuff that you guys do. On to today's video, deep button window seat, action! So what I'm doing here guys is I'm cutting down the wood. It's only a little bit, I'm taking 1/2 centimetre off each side. It's only a tiny little amount, just because it needs to fit perfectly into the bay window. So taking 1/2 centimetre off this side, 1/2 centimetre off the other side, and then I'm gonna pad it all back up. So yeah, just a little bit of carpentry just to get the wood perfect. Then we're back onto the upholstery side. Oh, it's hot out here today. So I've been using this to do my cuts. This is the Evolution, what is it? Evolution R185 circular saw. Really great saw and really great value. And the Evolution guide rails. So that's the Evolution guide rails with the clamps as well. Great bit of kit for someone like me who's just do nice straight cuts without having a giant saw that no one can afford. Just need to tidy that up a bit. Right guys, back into the workshop. God, my hair is terrible. So what we've done here is we cut the wood now. So now we're going to foam it up using 2-inch white foam. This is pretty standard with headboards or button backs. It needs to be quite soft because you're doing buttoning with it. Normally if it was a seat, a standard seat would be blue. But because we're doing buttoning on it, it's going to be white. So right, so what we're going to do now is we are going to mark out our diamonds. First of all, you're going to need a tape measure. I'm going to mark my middle first of all. Measure all the way along, 64 inches. I'm going to go 32. That is half of 64. And then 17.5 is 8 3/4. So that is halfway. Right, so now we've got to work out how we are going to do this. Are we going to do little diamonds? I think so. Instead of doing one big diamond, yeah, I'm gonna get 2 rows of diamonds in there. So, just gotta work out this way what it's gonna finish. What I'm doing here, as you can see, that I'm using these regulators to mark out my diamonds. So I think I've gone 7 inches, so I can do 1, 2, so I can do 2 rows of diamonds. I'm just working out, you don't want a diamond to finish here. It's too close to the edge, it's gonna chew up when you try and tuck the foam in, so you want it to finish about here. So that's what I've done. My first diamond is here, I think a 7 by 5.5. It will finish there, which is great. And here what I've done is, like I've done at the ends, I've made sure I haven't gone too far up, so I've got plenty of wiggle room there. So if you go too close down, it won't finish as nice. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mark this with a pen, mark out my diamonds, then I'm going to chop them all out. I'll show you the tool we use. So yeah, hopefully that made sense. If there's anything you need to know, drop a question in the comments and we will answer you straight away. But we use these. These are called skewers. In this country we call them skewers. We use them, sort of mark out and see how it's going to finish before you start. If you start doing it in pen and you get it wrong, then you have to start scribbling out, like getting rid of lines and stuff. So let's mark halfway. Slightly different at the front. I marked halfway here. Now I'm going to draw a straight line down there. So that's our centre line. So I'm going to go 7 above this line, and the same the other end. Same on the bottom, and 7. So now we've got to do the lines in between here as well. So that's the top and bottom lines. Now these are the middle lines. Basically all we've done is it's 7 here to here. So we've just marked 3.5 and we're just going to draw another line. on both sides. Right, so sorry we can't get the whole thing in the shot, but you'll get the idea. So what we did is marked our middle. So we know we're doing 2 rows of buttons. So we've gone from the middle up to that point with 7, and from there down to there was 7. So we marked them 2 lines, and then we went in between and done 3.5, 3.5. So I think we said 5.5 sides a side, which is 2 3/4. So we go 2 3/4 of that line, and that is our first diamond. Do that down here as well. It's our second diamond. So now all we need to do is mark from them points 5.5, 5.5, 11 each. Do you know what? I think it's 16.5, but my maths is terrible. 5.5, 11, and then our last diamond is about 2 inches from the end, which is ideal. We don't want it any closer to the end than that. So that's what we use the skewers for, to mark out. We can just carry on now. So they are our diamonds marked out one side. So we've got to go the other way now. Right, so what we're going to do now is use this standard drill with this 32mm drill bit on reverse. If you go forward, you're in trouble. So what I'm doing now is using 6mm drill bit to drill the holes through the wood. So I'm just going to show you close up what we're doing, and we're just going to drill straight through the centre of that hole if we can. So what we do now is just hoover out the holes because there's a load of dust inside them. What I'm doing now, guys, is I'm going to measure the fabric. I have to use a tape measure. Normally it's soft tape measure, but I can't find mine. It's all I'm missing. So I'm just going to measure it this. What I do is I go around the side, make sure I've got enough fabric around here to get underneath, push my tape measure all the way down into each hole to make sure it's going to go all the way to the bottom. 8 inches side to side by, like I said earlier, make sure you've got enough to come around the bottom here. 28 inches. So what I'm going to do now, get this ready and put some Dacron on. So what I'm doing here is halfway putting Dacron just on one side, because at the customer's house the window seat slants. It's not the same all the way around. So what I'm going to do is just put a bit more padding on this side. Hopefully you won't notice it by looking at the cushion, but it will slant up and make the whole thing fit properly. Another roll all the way along. What I'm doing now is I'm punching holes using my fingers through the Dacron. So when it comes to doing the upholstery, I'm not digging around trying to find holes, they're already there. So what we're doing now is we're going to cut the fabric. As you can see, I've got my roll of fabric. It's a plush petal FR. Fucking beautiful colour. Just going to roll it out, cut it. I've already measured the size, so I know how big it's got to be. Then I'm probably going to have to make some buttons after that, and then we're going to get onto the upholstery. So my size is 28 by 88. I'm going to run the fabric because otherwise we're going to have to do a join in the fabric. I'm just going to cut some strips off the end to do the buttons. What I'm doing now is I'm marking out my diamonds. Right, so our diamonds are 7, so we want to go 8.5. Even if you're freehanding, it's good to draw out these lines. Yeah, you can deep button freehand, which means you lay the fabric on, you don't make any marks, you just start bang, bang, bang. You can use a staple gun, you can staple them in. I prefer them doing them like this now, but it's good to draw lines either way, so you've always got something to follow. Because if you're freehanding, sometimes you're freehanding the upholstery, fabric starts to twist and you start to come out of position. That can happen quite often if you're freehanding, so it's good to always draw lines so you've got something to follow. Keep your fabric straight. So what I'm doing here is I'm marking out my diamonds on the fabric, and obviously you have to make an allowance because you're going down into a deep bit of foam. So on this particular fabric, I went 1.5 inches on the top to bottom and the side to side because I tested it and I tried it and I knew that was what was needed. Each fabric is going to differ, so you're going to have to bear in mind if you've got a stretchy vinyl, make a little bit up, do a test, and then see what your allowance is, what you're going to need, because it's going to vary on all different fabrics. That is all of our marks now. We're gonna make up some buttons and then we'll start upholstering. What you're gonna need for this: buttoning twine, buttoning needle, scissors, a regulator, a staple gun, your buttons obviously, and you might need these, a staple lifter and some pincers in case you make a mistake. So I'm starting on my middle diamond and I'm poking the needle through the hole onto the mark and going straight down into the hole. I'm gonna do my first diamond and then work out from my middle outwards. Everyone differs on the way they do things. Some people start from the ends, some people start from the middle like myself. Totally depends on your preference. I'm going to start from the middle, work my way out. What I'm doing now is pulling the buttons through, stapling them off, then I'm doing my dressing afterwards. What I'm doing is pulling, wrap it around my finger, pull extra tight, so you'll feel, then you can push from the other side, you can push the button all the way to the bottom of the hole. Pull it really tight, so staple 1, 2, so you've got 2 there holding it still, then pull it the other way, go, 1, 2, that's not coming out now. Keep going and following your marks, and then once I've done a few buttons, then I'll start to do my dressing. I'll staple the button off and then I'll use a regulator like I'm doing here, using my regulator to tidy up the pleats, tuck it all under, make sure all the pleats are facing the same way as well. Very important. Right, what I'm doing here, pulling up all my fullness. So what I'll do is I'll put that down there, so I'm going to pull that up. Staple that up in the middle, just once. I've got all this fabric that I need to get rid of, so you make the pleat underneath. Don't forget to use your regulator, tidy up. Tuck everything in that you want in. Sometimes think this is harder than the actual buttoning part, getting it nice and tidy. As we get to the corner, as you can see, I'm stapling up and then I cut out all the excess fabric. And corners are work. They do take sometimes a lot of work, especially with something like this where you can't pull too hard. You don't want to pull your pleats out. So go bit by bit, cut out your excess fabric until you get a nice tiny corner. And that's what I did there. So now you're cutting off your excess twines, your excess fabric, and then I'll put a bottom fabric on. I'll leave a link above how to do a bottoming, and then we put a bit of Velcro on as well to stick it down when we get to the customer's house. So here's the finished product, diamond tufted window seat. Thanks for watching.